Tonight, hijackers take over a plane with more than 100 people on board, but pilots tell a lie that gets them on the ground safely. An SUV hits two bicyclists in a suspected case of road rage. Tonight, one of the victims is asking for answers. But first, a worker gets hit in the head during a violent attack at a local fast food restaurant.
I am frightened for the fact that we live so close.
Now the search for the suspect is first on Fox. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Kawari. First on Fox tonight, deputies say a wannabe robber used a drive-through window to attack a worker at a fast food restaurant. And tonight, that man is now one of Fox 12's most wanted. It happened at about 3 o'clock this morning at the McDonald's near the intersection of Murray and Cornell in Washington County. KPTV's David Freitas is live there tonight with more. David?
This drive-thru is open 24 hours a day, and cops say a man in his late 20s took advantage of that earlier this morning. During that crime, he hurt an employee, but he never got away with a dime. Tonight, the drive-thru at McDonald's is back to what it's intended to be, a place to get food, not a way to get cash.
Sirens going off everywhere, from every direction.
Last night, neighbors heard cops from Washington County and Beaverton showing up to this McDonald's. About 3 o'clock this morning, investigators say a man climbed in through a drive-thru window, confronted an employee in the kitchen, and demanded cash.
It was just tragic that someone would have to go to that extent to get their money or whatever they were trying to get.
At some point, cops say the robber got into some sort of struggle with a 32-year-old woman who works here. They say he bashed her over the head with something, leaving her bleeding.
The fear for her going back to work is going to be awful.
Tonight, that woman is home and going to be okay. Meantime, detectives say the thief got away through a different drive-thru window. But for all his violence, cops say he didn't get any money. They say he also may have had an accomplice. The victim tells police she remembers seeing the criminal go through the drive-thru earlier in the evening with an older man. Tonight, neighbors find it all disturbing.
For have something to go on in Cedar Mill this bad, it's horrifying.
And they're hoping whoever did this was caught on one of the many surveillance cameras on this restaurant and that they're behind bars soon.
I know what's right and what's wrong, and I hope they actually come to their senses, maybe even turn themselves in.
Tonight, the robber is described as a white man in his late 20s. He's about 5'3" with a medium build. He has blonde hair and was wearing a baseball hat and a light gray t-shirt. The older man, who may be his accomplice, was in his late 60s with a gray beard and glasses. And they were driving a purple or gray Kia sedan. If you have any information about this crime or those suspects, you're asked to call the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Live in Beaverton, David Freitas, the 10 o'clock news.
Washington County deputies also need your help tonight, keeping an eye out for another one of Fox 12's most wanted. Deputies consider Todd Garland a predatory sex offender. He has warrants out for his arrest on some probation violations, and deputies haven't seen him since April. They say he may be in Aloha or Hillsborough. Police in Gresham are trying to track down a man who tried to kidnap a girl on a busy street. It happened on Sunday on Northeast 165th Avenue. A 14-year-old girl says a man offered her a ride, and when she refused, he tried to pull her into a car, but she managed to get away. A nearby woman called 911. The woman says the man was in a silver four-door car with a boxy frame. It also had a green H.B. Lee Middle School sticker on the trunk. The suspect is an Asian man in his 30s or 40s with black and gray hair. Police in Woodburn are searching tonight for a man who attacked another man with a broken beer bottle. The fight happened yesterday at the Seven Mares Tavern. Police say Gerardo Reyes Flores walked into the bar and immediately punched and kicked the victim. They say he also broke a beer bottle on the victim's head. Doctors had to remove glass from the victim's face. Police say the victim was sitting with Reyes Flores' wife. They haven't seen Reyes Flores since the attack. A traffic stop west of Salem ended with a man being rushed to the hospital tonight. An Oregon State trooper pulled the driver over on Highway 22 west of the Highway 99W junction just before 7 o'clock tonight. The trooper says after stopping, the driver shot himself. OSP detectives and the Polk County District Attorney are investigating the shooting. At this point, police aren't saying why the man was pulled over. We'll call them tree thieves or landscape looters. Someone stealing pricey Japanese maples from the lawns, decks, and porches of one of Portland's most upscale neighborhoods. KPTV's Marilyn Deutsch has more.
In just the last few months, somebody has ripped up and ripped off about 10 Japanese maples in Portland's West Hills. In the well-heeled hillside neighborhood where well-manicured landscape lawns are common, revealing both wealth and beauty, someone's helping himself to the prized and pricey maples, those arbor jewels of a Northwest garden.
Someone walked out one morning and in their yard, someone had taken out you know, the root ball of a Japanese maple tree.
Neighbors and police say it's happening in the dead of night and that the thief or thieves apparently know what they're doing.
They've dug them out quite knowledgeably with respect to the lateral roots they're able to leave, but they take the whole root balls.
Perhaps neighbors say the thieves may be landscapers who by day case the neighborhood and by night return to dig and grab the Japanese maples, possibly for sale on a black market for maples.
We think it's just people who have recognized the value in them that are stealing them to either use for personal use or resell.
The trees themselves often sell for upwards of $100. Fancy maples can even go for $1,000 or more. The thief, likely crafty, cunning, and strong too, leaving behind dug-up holes in the ground or empty pots.
Someone went up 2 flights of steps, took out a Japanese maple tree in a potted plant.
They dug the tree out of the pot and just took the tree with the root balls, probably put like a burlap sack underneath it and just took the tree away.
It's not an easy crime to commit. Ivy-covered steep hillsides can make the getaway difficult. Still, that hasn't stopped this crime spree.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
It's disappointing. You know, and you can't lock up your Japanese maple.
So far, police have no suspects in this case of the missing maples. In the Fox 12 newsroom, Marilyn Deutsch, the 10 o'clock news.
Well, one of 2 cyclists hit by an SUV in a suspected case of road rage is out of the hospital and recovering at home tonight. Tim Mastney says he was riding his bike to the MAC station to pick his son up yesterday when an SUV hit him. Police say the driver of that SUV, Johnny Esquiler, had an argument with another cyclist before the crash. Witnesses say Esquiler raced down the street and plowed into the bicyclist. And tonight, Mastney has one question.
I asked him why you hit me. I think it's wrong. It's wrong. I know I don't want this to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to anybody else.
Mastney says the crash totaled his bike, which is his only mode of transportation to work. Tonight, Esquiler faces several charges. A man is in jail tonight after a hit and run in northeast Portland. Police responded to 146th and Gleason after getting calls about a dangerous driver. Witnesses say Brian Kleselek hit at least one car and then drove into a fence before taking off on foot. Police searched the area with a dog and arrested him. Take a good look at the scene, too. You may see it on the popular Fox show Cops. The Cops crew was in that area today. A Tualatin toddler is in critical condition tonight after a plane crash in Alaska. 3-year-old Allison Smith is in the intensive care unit at Harborview Medical Center after the small float plane she and her family were riding in crashed about 25 miles north of Ketchikan, Alaska. 4 of Allison's family members died in the crash, including her twin brother. Her grandmother, Mindy Meyer, survived the crash and is in serious condition tonight. Investigators aren't sure what caused the plane to go down, but say the weather in the area changes rapidly and high winds could have played a role in the crash. A woman is in the hospital tonight after police say the car she was riding in crashed into a power pole. Take a look at pictures of the crash from one of our Fox 12 tipsters. Police say the driver crashed into a car and then slammed into a power pole in front of someone's home in Milwaukee. Police arrested the man for driving under the influence, and paramedics took his passenger to OHSU's trauma center. There's no word tonight on her condition. When you see breaking news, take a picture or record some video and then send it to us through our website, kptv.com. Look for the Your News tab. Tonight, fire investigators say someone started an apartment fire in Clackamas County, forcing 19 people out of their homes. We first brought you the story as breaking news yesterday afternoon. Investigators confirmed today that someone started that fire in the barn behind the Clackamas Heights apartments in Milwaukee. The fire broke out just before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and witnesses say you could see smoke from as far away as downtown Portland. Investigators say the blaze destroyed at least 10 apartments. Several people living in those apartments called 911, and tonight we're hearing those calls for the first time.
What's going on there? There's a fire behind my house. It's an empty lot behind our house, and it's full of dry grass, and the trees are on fire. Okay, huge.
Well, no one was hurt in the fire. Fire crews say it took about an hour and a half to get the fire under control. Well, investigators tonight also think a cigarette caused a fire in Vancouver that destroyed 2 apartments. Several other apartments suffered fire and smoke damage this morning. The total damage estimate is about $520,000. A man who was coming home from work saw the smoke, woke everyone up, and called 911. His home was one of the destroyed apartments. About 12 people are homeless tonight. The Red Cross helped them find places to stay. And again, fortunately, no one was hurt. Well, it was a pretty gray Saturday, and we even saw some rain out there today. Stephanie Kralovich is here with tonight's first weather. Gray again, Stephanie.
Yes, and it's going to be gray tomorrow. As we look at the live radar picture, you can see Portland right now is dry, but to the east, some showers, and also to the west, we are seeing plenty of rainfall offshore as well. We're going to see that increase during the overnight hours, and for tomorrow morning, expect a pretty good chance for some steady rain. As we take a closer look at the Portland metro area, you can see right now, actually, Portland is dry, and as we show you those high temperatures for today, it was also a cool one out there, 74 degrees in Portland, and we are going to see cooler, wetter weather for tomorrow. Let's take a look at those current temperatures. Things have not cooled down a whole lot. 61 degrees right now out at the airport. And I'll have details on the warm weather in your 7-day forecast. We are going to see the sunshine again, and it will feel like August. I'll let you know when that warm weather arrives, coming up in just a bit.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
More than 100 people are held hostage when terrorists hijack a plane in midair. How the quick-thinking pilots got everyone on the ground safely. This blaze already destroyed several buildings, and crews say it's only getting bigger. The latest on a wildfire that's threatening a major tourist destination. A price hike plan for cigarettes is meeting some big opposition tonight. How one group plans to get you to say no to a tax increase at the polls. And her special day is over, and now her special dress is destroyed. See why this new bride got down and dirty to ruin her
live, local. Thank you for making Fox 12's Good Day Oregon the most watched, #1 rated morning newscast. Now on the air at 4:30 with all your local news, weather, and traffic.
Thrive.
Looking for ways to cool off in your home? Try the computer or your iPod. We'll explain coming up on the 10 o'clock news. First, live local. Are helping homeless families get their lives back on track. One shelter in Gresham is planning a multi-million-dollar expansion thanks to waves of generosity. KPTV's Mark Lazewski has more.
This modest one-story home has become a beacon of hope for hundreds of homeless families. Rashida and her 2 kids came to My Father's House for a fresh start.
The title, My Father's House, is profound to me. It truly has been my father's house.
The shelter offers help specifically to families and teaches parents the skills for raising a family, plus how to handle finances and landing a good job.
When a family comes to us, they've already burned all their bridges. They've already stayed with every family member they possibly could. They've stayed with every friend.
Executive Director Kathy Weiss says the shelter can only house 5 families at a time, but that will change big time next year with the opening of this new 3-story, 27,000 square foot shelter that will offer short-term housing and services to 30 families.
We built as we had money come in, and it has been a challenge. It has not been easy. It's not like the money just falls from heaven.
Staff members raised more than $2 million from the community, enough to cover the majority of the cost of construction. Those donations have come from area businesses and colleges to grants and money from anonymous donors.
When the community takes ownership of a building like this, then they think, hey, I helped fund this, now I want to help work it. And so I think that the volunteers will come as well.
Administrators expect they will eventually need 300 volunteers to help run the new shelter. That effort will help people like Rashida transform their lives. 85% of the homeless families who stay at My Father's House leave with jobs and housing.
There are really no words to express my gratitude, my appreciation.
In Gresham, Mark Lazewski, the 10 o'clock news.
Well, the new My Father's House is set to open in April next year. If you'd like to become a volunteer, you can find a link for more information on our website, kptv.com. Some people in Vancouver celebrated a big birthday today by taking a bike ride. The city turned 150 years old today. What better way to celebrate that than to take in the sights of Vancouver with a 20-mile bike ride? There was also a shorter ride for families. And how's this for motivation? There was a picnic at the park at the very end.
What do you think is going to be kind of the highlight of the bike ride today? I guess the mayor's going to be in it and stuff like that.
Probably the food at the end of it.
Looking forward to the food. All right. The city of Vancouver recently made a new map for bike riders called Cycling the Cities. It shows bike routes and businesses that cater to bike riders in both Portland and Vancouver. You can get the map at any bike shop or government office. We'll help raise money for the fight against cancer. Sign up to be part of the Live Strong Challenge. Our goal is to get 300 walkers, runners, and cyclists to join our team and raise more than $50,000 for the Lance Armstrong Foundation. The event takes place September 30th, and if you'd like more information about it or how to join our team, you can log on to our website, kptv.com. Well, folks who live near Hawthorne, we're celebrating the end of road construction in the streets today, literally. Live music, food, and arts filled Hawthorne between 12th and 50th today in celebration of Hawthorne Day. Multnomah County, along with the city of Portland, declared the celebration in honor of the end of a year-long construction project along the southeast Portland street. But while construction tied up traffic for months and shut down businesses for days, business owners say the end result was worth the trouble.
It's fabulous. It kind of legitimizes 35th place, separates it, gives it a good corner setting. People are stopping in front of the store, people are crossing in front of the store. Like I said, for this corner, it's huge to have a new stoplight and crosswalk. Before, it was like playing Frogger trying to get across the street.
Oh, we all remember Frogger, right? Well, the city added several crosswalks and lights along Hawthorne to cut down on the amount of accidents that happen along the street. Tractors, trucks, and even a KPTV satellite truck made it out to Big Truck Day in Beaverton today. Trucks of all shapes and sizes greeted families today at the Conestoga Recreation Center. Curious drivers were given the chance to climb on, sit in, and check out the rigs of their choice. The event is hosted every year and is free to the public. In news from around the Northwest tonight, a protest in Seattle came to push and to shove today. Take a look. Nearly 500 people took to the streets today to protest immigration policies. Some people were holding a sign when police confronted them. We don't know what led to the pushing and shoving, but as you'll see, police also used a lot of pepper spray. They took one person into custody. 2 cops were hurt. They also say someone on an opposing side threw balloons filled with some kind of liquid at the marchers. A Seattle market famous for its fish-tossing ways celebrated a milestone anniversary. That's right, Pike Place Market turned 100 yesterday. Hundreds of people turned out to celebrate the event, some of them even dressed in costumes from the early 1900s. The historic downtown market began back in 1907 with horse-drawn wagons loaded with produce. Since then, the site has become a popular tourist attraction with food and crafts.
Did you think that the market was going to last 100 years?
Well, of course. Of course. It's the farmers. They last forever.
The market is also home to a life-size bronze piggy bank named Rachel. Funds from Rachel help pay for renovations to the market, and on average, the bank rakes in about $9,000 a year. Well, Fox 12 and players in Lake Oswego are encouraging the community to support Lake Oswego's Little League baseball team. We're giving you the chance to gather with your friends and family tomorrow afternoon to cheer on the boys as they try to win the World Series. The game is at 12:30. Players is accepting reservations to eat and to go bowling tomorrow night. You can find their number and all the information you need on our website. That's kptv.com. Well, it's not just the hot weather that could put your air conditioning bill through the roof. Coming up in tonight's Consumer Watch, we'll tell you what's inside your home that could be heating things up. Plus, the flames are spreading through a popular tourist destination. We'll tell you why crews are having such a hard time getting this wildfire under control.
As we take a look at that live radar picture, you can see where we have the rain coming down. It's just moving into the Portland area right now, but some heavier rain to our south down around the McMinnville area. As you can see, those areas shaded in yellow getting a little bit heavier rainfall. I'll let you know how long this wet weather is going to last in your 7-day forecast coming up.
See your news on Fox 12. It's easy. When you see breaking news happening, take a picture or record video with a cell phone or digital camera. Then just go to kptv.com and click on the Your News link and send it in.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
So what does this Jetta have that the Corolla doesn't?
Power windows, variable intermittent wipers. Hanging out after the mine disaster takes a turn for the worse. A bride goes from wedding bells to the state fair. Find out why she's ruining her dress on purpose. And the spotlight is off Lindsay Lohan, at least for now, while her parents are getting the attention this time. That's all coming up in the Final Cut.
IDR Media is the official publisher of...
Tonight, fire season 2007 is back at Lake Tahoe. A house fire spread today and is now a wildfire. At least 3 buildings are destroyed. Nearby homes are under evacuation. The fire spread quickly today because of strong winds. The fire is about 20 miles north of where another wildfire burned 3,100 acres and destroyed more than 200 homes in June. In tonight's Consumer Watch, a warning about a baby bib. Toys R Us and Babies R Us are pulling all vinyl baby bibs from their store shelves after testing found that some of those bibs had high levels of lead. The bibs are made in China and sold under the Especially for Baby, Koala Baby, and Disney Baby labels. If you have any of the recalled bibs, you can take them back to Toys R Us for a full refund. Recent recalls on Chinese toys are good news for American toy makers. Those companies are seeing more business lately. They're hoping their luck continues into the holiday season. Right now, about 80% of all toys are made in China. Smaller toy makers in the U.S. say it's tough to compete against the bigger Chinese companies because those companies can offer toys for a lot less money. However, U.S. toy makers boast quality goods that are made by workers who are paid fairly. If your air conditioning bill skyrockets during the hot weather months, experts say it may be more than just the heat that's making prices rise. They say leaving your home electronics on all the time can cost you hundreds of dollars more in air conditioning. That's because electronics like TVs, game consoles, DVRs, and computers generate the same amount of heat as several space heaters. So what can you do to cool things down? Well, experts say try spacing out your electronics. They say you could also turn off your electronics when you're not using them. And meteorologist Stephanie Kravitz joining us now. Don't really have to worry about the air conditioning bill on days like today, do we?
No, we do not, but we do have to worry about the umbrellas because we have some rain in the forecast for tomorrow. I'll let you know if it's going to last into the work week in your 7-day forecast.
A whole other set of issues. All right, Stephanie, thank you. Rescuers are frantically trying to save more than 100 workers trapped in a flooded mine. We'll have the latest on the attempt to save their lives in tonight's Final Cut. Plus, Hurricane Dean has already proven to be a deadly storm. Tonight, it's blowing through the Caribbean, and it could be on its way to Texas. Coming up, how people are preparing for the worst.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.